hair's all frizzy up here. It's probably because I didn't blow dry it well. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Hi, Brittany. Good to see you in here. Hi, Ragnar. Hi, AB. Good afternoon. How, Intel? We're doing a little Tina Turner on Friday, because why not? We'll see if we get some conversations. Oh, okay, Intel, I got you. Trump's not going to run for a third term. We can talk about that topic if you want to come up. Hope everyone, what's everyone doing this weekend? Big plans? Mellow? Give me a summary in the comments of what you're up to this weekend. We don't have any big plans, which is kind of nice. So, no, Ragnar. Oh, I think you sent that to me, Ragnar. I gotta look at it. I'll be doing a lot of stuff with my platform this weekend. Can we talk about support the onesies? It's a little intense. The theatrics of the confirmation hearings is crazy. Hey, Goon. Writing letters to Tulsa. Oh, nice, Intel. I'm just hoping that I can get a press pass to the White House. So, like, if y'all can manifest for me, I genuinely appreciate it. Sorry, Desire. I'll be going live 4 times this week instead of 3, so that's actually a win. I did, Intel. Also got in touch with some contacts to see if they can put in a good word. So we'll see. Hi, Peach. While you guys are in here and we're getting some traffic, please tap the screen. If we can get up to like 5,000 likes, we'll see if we can hit the FYP. I know, I heard AB, that's awesome. The Daily Hurt Me, I think that helps with something. It's 1 coin if you don't want to send gifts. So, I didn't hear unapologetic. If you want to come and tell me about it, I'll listen. Thank you, Kelly. It is Friday. This felt like a really long week. Anyone else? Feel like a long or short week? Let's do a poll. Thank you, Kelly. I don't know if subscriptions are available or not. Long, right? All right. I think Connor's in opposition. Keep tapping the screen. I appreciate y'all for being here. Hi, Connor.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Doing good. I saw your prompt and I thought I would come up and answer your question.
Perfect. What's up?
So I'm very concerned about these the tariffs and the impact on the economy, our barely recovering economy after the whole COVID thing. So especially the tariffs that he wants to put on Taiwan, the chips in Taiwan, that's a pretty massive deal, and it only really means price raises on anything that has a chip in it down to the consumer getting inflated.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the chips one. I'd have to read into more of what his thought process is behind that, but I agree with you, especially when we look at the fact that this AI race with China. I think it's important that we're having a free flow of those chips. So
yeah, and if you know anything about like the chip industry, like that's the bottleneck. Is Taiwan. They make like half the world's advanced chips, and they're our strategic alliance. I don't know why we're tariffing them. It doesn't make any sense.
And again, I am kind of flying dark because I haven't heard what he has to say on that yet, or what the motivation is for that.
And even beyond that, we don't even need to talk about that. There's just the very baseline tariffs that he's planning to put forth with Canada and Mexico. Even that has me scratching my head a little bit. Like, why are we so invested in? I feel like, and I've been talking to conservatives and Republicans on this app for a long time now, and what it feels like is you guys kind of want to find some type of loophole into not paying taxes. There must be some type of secret way we can switch things around, and all of a sudden we don't pay taxes. It's just, at the end of the day, things need to be paid. You need to eat your vegetables. It is what it is.
I mean, I think more people need to eat their vegetables and exercise. We have a very high level of mental health issues in this country. So would you like to not pay taxes though?
Would I like to not pay it? No. I like that there's certain things that the government does that is outside.
Yeah, I understand that. But let's say in this perfect world where you could still maintain government services but pay half the amount of taxes, would you not be excited about that?
I don't believe that a system like that could exist, but I would be excited about it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think there's, I need to dig into the economists' opinions and all of this on that. I will not lie to anyone in this panel, like the economic policy is not my strong suit. But from what I understand, the model that he's pursuing is to increase tariffs, which would then lead to a decrease of federal income tax. So although you may be paying a higher amount on certain products, it still would be offset by the lower amount of federal income taxes you could pay.
Well, be that as it may, the tariffs still get kicked down to the consumer. So you're still paying the taxes, but it's just like like an act by a different name. It's just an action by a different name. So
right. Did you understand what I said when if I agree with you, I wouldn't want to pay more for products, right? That wouldn't be ideal. But sorry, I don't know what my dog's doing. But if we were able to reduce federal income tax to offset the increased cost of the tariffs, that would be awesome.
Okay, so there's a few routes. First, I'm going to explain why in my mind, it won't even work, because when you tax a product, you usually want to make your products in country a little bit more competitive, right? So if, like, say, washing machines, we put a tariff on Chinese washing machines a few years ago. If Chinese washing machines are too competitive in American markets, and you want to prop up our own stuff, that's usually why you do it. So if you put on a tariff on everything coming from, like, Canada, businesses may choose to say, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm just going to buy things.
I know we're losing people, so I'm going to have you be a little bit succincter.
Sure. So we're going to have to buy things in America, which means that the revenue that you're getting from the taxes goes away. You don't get that revenue anymore. It's a self-defeating plan. Does that make sense?
So
I guess to an extent, but go ahead, Blackjack.
A couple of counterpoints. So the U.S. Taiwanese trade deficit is $51 billion annually. So why wouldn't we tariff them, or what's your alternative solution to correcting the trade deficit? Because currently they're taking advantage of us.
Well, okay. So first thing, Taiwan. Okay, there's only one place in the entire world that can produce chips, high-grade chips like Taiwan. All right? And that's like the TSMC factories in Taiwan. There's a few others that are a very small.
I'm going to give it a few more minutes because we're killing the live here. So, sorry.
Oh,
Okay. There's a few more members that do produce chips, but the vast majority come from Taiwan. Okay, so the reason why you wouldn't want to do that is because we already have like trade deals with them to not share these chips with China, because it gives us a competitive advantage. So why are we punishing our strategic allies that are enforcing our trade rules to give us an advantage against China? That doesn't make any sense to me.
well, I mean, they could buy 51 billion more of our exports and then they would experience no tariff. It's a simple solution.
They're not experiencing the tariff. We are.
Well, so Taiwan doesn't want to lose the United States, the largest and most robust economy, as a sales audience. So
You're confusing. You're totally confusing.
Across the board, the exporters generally absorb between 40 and 44% of all of the tariffs. 50% gets passed on to the United States consumer, which is why you have the Goldman Sachs report that says that if we tariffed 25% to Canada and Mexico, our cost of goods would only go up 1%. Because
maybe that's true for certain, like a loaf of bread, but for chips, it's totally different. The throughput on chips, Taiwan gets to decide who they want to sell chips to, because it doesn't meet the demand. That's the situation we're in.
well, we're building a high grade tech factory in Arizona.
Who owns it?
Actually, I
That's
don't know.
TSMC owns it, the chip factory that we're talking about.
So why aren't we building high producing chip factories here at a significantly faster pace?
Because there's only a few people in the world that know how to build these chips like the Taiwan people do. And they're keeping that close to their chest. So that's the reason.
Well,
There's like a few thousand people that know how to do it.
I think we should really focus on matching their technology at a minimum as a country so that we don't keep getting taken advantage of in trade deals.
Real quick, Connor, there might be a flaw here that I'm not tracking, so you can correct me. But if you're concerned, are you concerned that the consumer is going to pay the ultimate price of the tariff?
I'm concerned that there would be inflation as a result of the tariff.
Okay, so our consumers ultimately would be the ones carrying the burden of the tariff.
Yes, and that's
Why does it matter? Why does it matter to Taiwan? Because you're making it sound like it would be a deterrent for Taiwan to do trade with us, but if your ultimate argument is that the consumer eats that cost, why would it make a difference to them?
because usually in geopolitical affairs, when you throw tariffs on people, they don't take kindly to it. They usually tariff you back.
But again, if
They
they're on
usually respond.
your argument when you came up was you were concerned about us as U.S. consumers having to pay these tariffs. That would mean that Taiwan isn't going to see any type of change. So why would it matter to Taiwan? They're still selling the products. There's still the demand there. Your whole stance is that it gets passed on to the U.S. consumer. Why would they care?
Because exactly what I said. They would care because Taiwan doesn't, or countries usually don't respond very well to tariffs. They could throw a tariff back, and countries usually do. Countries usually say, okay, we'll tariff you too.
What percentage of Taiwanese chips does the American manufacturing sector and technology sector purchase?
I don't know that number off the top of my head. I know that they produce about 50% of the world's supply of chips, high-grade chips.
Yep.
And I think like Samsung makes them, and Intel makes a very small amount in the U.S.
I'll give you a number. U.S. buy Taiwanese chips. I mean, unless this is too deep in the weeds, this is your live. Liberty, you
Well, and
tell me.
also, so I'm reading from the Tax Foundation. While tariffs do raise prices for American consumers, their impact on economy-wide inflation is relatively small. So I don't know that I would make the inflation case.
Well, no, that's so. If you go to the Peterson Institute of International Economics, I think it's called, there is a study on the impacts of just the 25% from Mexico and the 25% to Canada. What you're probably looking at is individual pinpointed tariffs. What Trump's planning to do is, umbrella tariffs. So this has already been modeled out. It will have a inflationary effect, and it will have a GDP effect over the next 10 years.
Well, Goldman Sachs also did a conventional model where it's 1%.
I don't know the Goldman Sachs numbers. Are they just talking about a tariff, or are they talking about the specific Trump tariffs that he's got planned?
The specific Trump tariff of the analysis of 25% to Canada and 25% to Mexico.
I've never seen that 1% number, but I'm telling you an actual study that was done. I'm giving you the name of the institute that did the study.
Yeah.
I don't know. Goldman Sachs is like a banking company.
Yeah, they're the largest banking firm in the United States domestically, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to ask the chat. Chat, do you want to stay on this tariff discussion, or do you guys want next? Just say stay or next in the chat. We'll see what they think.
Go to the audience first.
I mean, you could bore through the numbers.
We're democracy.
Next. Stay, next. Don't care either way.
Says most sent is next so far.
Okay,
Okay.
next.
Was there anything else aside from tariffs that you want to highlight?
For me, the tariffs is the biggest, scariest thing.
Was it
I've
scary
already
for you?
talked to you.
Was
Pardon?
it scary for you under the Biden administration because he left all of Trump's tariffs in place and added 19 billion? Were you frightened?
Yeah,
in the
that's-
last years?
Those were specific pinpointed tariffs. Again, we're talking about two different things. Umbrella tariffs are totally different animal than pinpoint tariffs. I'm not an anti-tariff person, but like the what he's doing and planning, it doesn't compute to me. It doesn't make sense.
Fair
And
enough.
even like the tax plan that he has is like, I could be wrong about this. I've only seen headlines, but isn't it only benefiting like the top like 3% of earners? Isn't he only cutting for that?
For what?
Isn't that what's proposed? The tax plan?
My understanding, he was going to extend the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, right?
Correct.
He was just going to extend that. So no, that cuts all income brackets.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
And
I
the-
saw a graph.
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, because it was coupled with a deregulatory cycle, actually got corporations to pay significantly more taxes, right? So the narrative is it cut tax to the billionaires, right? That's the media narrative. The
Yeah.
St. Louis Federal Reserve graph shows the exact opposite, right? It shows that taxes paid by corporations significantly skyrocketed after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act because it increased their product. It works just like this, okay? If you have $100,000 in production and your tax rate is 10%, you're paying $10,000 in taxes. If your production then goes up because you go through a deregulatory cycle and your tax rate is cut to 8%, you're going to be more likely to produce and you're going to pay significantly higher taxes. And if you look at the Federal Reserve graph on the corporate taxes paid after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, the rich elite actually paid significantly more taxes, which then would debunk the media narrative if we're going to look at facts.
Well, I think what you're doing is you're looking at specific industries and what they've been taxed. But if you look at the overall tax revenue after the Trump tax cuts, the revenue went down. So yeah, well, I think that's great. Like, if you have data that shows that companies are paying a little bit more in taxes, which I believe that they should,
Here's the
that's great.
St.
But
Louis Federal Reserve, right? If we
why,
just go,
what is the
if we,
same?
so here's
Okay.
People are
the
wanting
Fed
to move
graph.
on, so I'll let you guys finish up, and then I'm going to bring up a new guest.
Okay. And here's the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and there's the acceleration of how much more the rich paid in corporate taxes. Right?
Okay.
So it was a very good business strategy, and the rich actually paid a lot more in corporate tax revenue. So just something to think about.
All right, Connor, thanks for coming up.
Yep. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Connor.
Hi, KSK. All right, guys, just so you know, we don't have to talk economy. I want to know this is open to all topics as far as what you're afraid of in the next 4 years. I'd like to speak to people who are anti-Trump. So if you're friendly, if you can hop out of the queue just so we can get some conversations going. Hi, KSK.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So I came on here. I'm gonna make this short because I work, but
How old
one
are you?
thing that
Just to confirm.
I'm 22.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
One thing that's very scary to me, and it doesn't even affect me, but I know people who it's been affecting, and that's the immigration thing.
Okay, what about it specifically are you concerned about?
I agree that we have a country to protect, but I don't think us I don't think Trump is going about it the right way.
How would you prefer him
I
to go about it?
I feel like we should start by just getting rid of the people who came to America to commit crimes. Like I don't think it's necessary to try to get rid of everyone that crossed illegally.
Okay, how about people who were criminals and they entered the country illegally? You would like those individuals deported too, right?
Wait, say that again, I'm sorry.
The individuals who were criminals before they even entered the country?
Yeah, those two. I'm just saying if I don't think we should be just deporting
So
everyone
he's
that
prioritizing criminals. There's also a million pending deportation orders that the Biden administration never executed. So those individuals are on the list as well. But yeah, there will be people who are getting deported that don't have a criminal record, but did enter this country illegally, which is a crime.
Okay. I think for me it's just scary because I know people who are documented but came here illegally at one point.
So did they go through the process of gaining citizenship then?
Yeah, through visa and stuff like that.
Then they wouldn't be deported. They're here legally then.
They can't be deported.
Okay.
They're here legally. They have all of the rights issued to them through the different visas programs, so they cannot be deported.
Okay.
Nor should they.
No, I don't want individuals who have valid visas, green cards. No, they shouldn't be deported. They wouldn't be deported. So.
No.
Okay, that's all.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, just so you know, I can't tell when you joined, so I just pick randomly from the list. I don't know why TikTok doesn't order it. Maybe they've updated and I just don't know. Uh-oh, she's not loading. Is she loading for you, Blackjack?
No. I can see it looks like radiant or radiation.
Yeah, Radiant Raven, you may have to drop down and come. Oh, it's like an empty box now, but I see her username. Radiant, can you hear me? Okay, you may have to hop back in the queue. I don't know why it's not loading. All right. I hope TikTok isn't glitching again.
It might be.
My Wi-Fi is fine. Nope. All right. Maybe third time's a charm.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you? Do you go by Chill?
Yes, that's fine.
Awesome. Good afternoon /
Good
evening.
afternoon. So, yes, I guess your topic is what are you afraid of? Not necessarily afraid because he was so kind. He put everything in Project 2025, what he's going to do. So with that being said,
Hold on, super quick. He didn't author Project 2025.
yes, he did. They were reports on. Wait. I thought you said I could speak. Steve Bannon, along with Steve Miller, went to Instagram and Twitter the day after, and they posted their videos along with their own script of that Project 2025 was the agenda all the whole entire time. Everything he does and is doing follows exactly what is in Project 25. I read the whole book. You know, it was a little bit astonished that we're heading towards fascism, but why should I be surprised? Secondly, the way everything looks like that he's planned, and the fact that he's bringing his cabinet $3.5 billion, you know, majority of that is Elon Musk's salary. You know, he's already got a ridiculous salary just for Tesla, so I'm not surprised. Along with that the shock
Can we
and
go
awe
point
that
by
he wants
point,
to
though?
wait. I thought I was still
I
talking.
know,
So.
but chill. It's hard to have a conversation. I can't talk about 5 points because I'm not going to remember all of them. So it's
Okay,
easier.
it's very simple. The salary that he's paying his cabinet is $3.5 billion for the total of the next 4 years. The fact that everything he's written about is in Project 25 and does come from it. It exactly everything that he talked about, the freezes. He talked about implementing everything at the state legislation, which is what they're doing. He talked already about getting getting employees that are not loyal to him outside of the federal government, which is 2 million people that he's already asked for their resignation. They're asking for 4,000 members of MAGA only to join the U.S. government. A lot of different things. A lot of different things you already know that you probably going to deny and tell me it's not happening when it's already written in the sand. He's doing everything he said that he had in Project 25. And when at the...
Are you going to let me respond at all?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Are you good? Can I respond? Okay. So Project 2025, Trump said on the campaign trail he doesn't endorse it. Yes,
well, I guess you're going to lie about that.
I let you speak and you didn't like
deny
being
it.
interrupted.
Why are you going to lie about it when you know he's following the playbook? Why don't everybody on your live just go look up Project 25 for itself? He said he was going to freeze.
Can we have an adult conversation?
Public spending. No, you want to lie. The adult conversation is don't lie and gaslight.
I can bring you sources
the adult conversation
as to when
is
he
don't
said
lie
he
and
doesn't
gaslight.
endorse Project
The adult
2025.
conversation is don't lie and gaslight. Don't
Adult
lie and
conversation
gaslight.
is to not
Don't lie and
interrupt.
gaslight. Don't
Adult
lie and
conversation is
gaslight.
to not
Don't
interrupt.
lie and
You brought no
gaslight.
sources.
Have the
You
adult
brought no sources for
conversation
the
and don't
claims that
lie
you
and
made.
gaslight.
You brought no sources for the claims that you made. You are not allowing me to speak and respond. This is not your live. I am the host. I was very polite and allowed you to finish, even though you went through 5 points and I would have liked to take them point by point. So we can have a conversation where I respectfully allow you to respond, but you need to let me respond. If you interrupt me one more time, I will drop you because I prefer to have adult, polite interactions. Otherwise, it's not productive. Is that okay? You can unmute your mic. You have to go to the bottom of the screen and click the little microphone.
He laid off everybody inside his cabinet that wasn't in favor of his policy. He laid off the TSA. He laid off the FAA. He laid off over 400 employees. That's why that accident happened. So one thing you're not going to do is gaslight me
TSA has
when I
only
know
400
policy.
employees?
I'm asking you to have an adult conversation. Come with the truth. Don't
FAA has
gaslight
only
me because
400
I read
employees?
Project 25. And anybody on your live that did read it already know for a fact that you're a fucking liar.
Oh, we're going to curse now.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're only used to that when Don cussed. You're a fucking liar.
Who cussed? Who?
So my question to you is, let's take you at face value and say that the Heritage Foundation wrote Project 2025. Were you concerned when they authored Obamacare?
Obamacare is the care for people when you don't have adequate insurance through your job or through an employer and it's too expensive. There are a lot of people, even some of your own constituents that are MAGAs that have Obamacare. So I'm not offended by Obamacare, even though I have paid health insurance plan. I believe in a little bit of socialism is the greater good of all the government.
You're not answering the
I'm
question.
not worried about anybody else having insurance just because I do.
The Heritage Foundation collaborated with Obama. I can probably talk about it with you. The Heritage Foundation collaborated with Obama to put together Obamacare.
Having $400. Well, you want to talk over me? I mean, he asked me a question. You don't want me to answer because again, you want to gaslight.
The authors and the think tanks that were involved. Trump is not listed on any of them. No, he did not let go all of TSA or I think you said FAA. That's way more than 400 employees. What he did offer is he said, listen, If you're not on board with our
Anyone can go
administration
look it up.
and
You're a
what we've been
liar.
hired
A
to
liar
do,
again, and
then
you're a gaslighter.
I can't. Okay. So what we're not going to do up here, I allowed her to talk. I want to respond. But when she's saying wrong information and then calls me a bleeping liar, I don't think you're capable of having this conversation. So what I will say is Trump did offer severance packages. He said, listen, if you're not on board with our agenda and the administration and what we're trying to do here, take some money and go. I think that's quite generous, to be honest. He's not firing them. He said, here's a package. If you don't like what we're doing, you can go. Because here's the thing, as we know within the federal government, as far as the employees, is they are heavily Democrat. You can look at various departments and how much they contributed to Democrat candidates or voted for Harris. So he wants to ensure that he can get in the office to do what the people hired him to do with the right people in place. I hope that clears that part up. Okay? I am very capable of having conversations. I allow people to speak. I want to engage, but I can't do that. Okay? That's not what we're here for. So just, if that's what you're going to do, you probably shouldn't come up here. All right. I'm hoping to only have opposition in the queue, guys. So please drop out if you are not.
I just came up for the economy, bud, but you can move somebody else up if you want. I'm all good.
I just don't understand. Like,
Hello.
why even join a panel to engage in a conversation if that's how you're going to behave? Anywho.
I'll
moving
be
on.
good.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, how you doing? I'll behave myself.
Okay. What are you afraid
Okay,
of?
so what, I'm afraid of him subverting the justice system.
Okay.
I don't agree. I have a really hard time with the pardons, with the blanket pardons, and now, you know, I'm watching the confirmation hearings with Patel and with Bondi, and you know, they can't even admit that he lost the election in 2020. All right, they won't say that. All right, they'll do everything they can to dance around it.
So, Dave,
And, you know, only time will tell, obviously, but this is what I'm mostly concerned with.
there's a lot of servings of Yapparoni going around today. Okay. So when we talk about Kash Patel, and again, you take issue with Biden's pardons as well, correct?
I take issue with the pardons that he did with the death row inmates. Okay, but as far as the pardons that he gave people like Dr. Fauci and people like, I don't know if Liz Cheney took one or those people, no, those people I approve of those pardons because Trump has made it clear, okay, that he intends to go after those people for investigating January 6th. And you know, it's like the whole right wing is asking us to just not remember what we saw on January 6th. And they're there telling us that FBI agents set them up. That's the most ridiculous thing.
So Dave, here's the thing that sucks about those preemptive pardons. If there was wrongdoing and if there were shenanigans or evidence was destroyed or witness statements were altered, if there's anything that was altered within that J6 committee, none of those individuals can be held accountable now. I don't think that's appropriate. And to be honest, everyone says the justice system is so great and that it can't be weaponized. It wasn't weaponized against Trump. Yet now we see a whole change of tune that, oh, wait, it can be weaponized. And so that's why we need to do these preemptive pardons. I find it interesting. And if we're going to be objective, because I take issue with Trump's pardons, some of them, and I take issue with Biden's pardons. I think the pardon power has gotten crazy, to be honest, for all presidents. But I apply that equally. Where you're going to lose me is when you don't have the ability to apply that equally, Dave.
Well, I don't think there's any, you cannot compare, okay, any wrongdoings by the January 6th congressional committee, okay, which was overseen, okay, and you're talking about what happened on January 6th. Donald Trump called those people to Washington to have a rally after he lost a free and fair election. He incited them to do violence at the Capitol. And let me just say one thing.
Hold on.
I'm going to tell you. I know what you're going to ask. I Yeah.
Hold on. So we've
Go
got
ahead.
to be a little more succinct so we can have a conversation, because I understand you're worked up about J6. So what did he say that incited violence?
He said that if you don't fight, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Is
That's
the
what
only
he
way-
said.
Is the only way to hold on? Is the only way to fight physical violence?
And do you remember exactly what
He also said peacefully.
Giuliani said?
He also
Remember what
said-
Giuliani said?
Hold on. He also said peacefully. We're on Donald Trump, so let's stick there. He said peacefully and patriotically have your voice heard in that same speech.
Right. And do you remember what Rudy Giuliani said?
We're on Trump.
Okay, and
Let's not pivot.
No,
Hold on. We need to acknowledge the point
This
that I'm
whole-
making. Let's acknowledge the point that I'm
Everything-
making if we're going to have a genuine
everything-
conversation. Do you acknowledge that he also said peacefully
Yes,
and patriotically
well,
have your voice heard?
Yes, he said that. But with Donald Trump, it's not what he says; it's what he does.
You just made
And
the claim
one of
that
the
he
points
said. You just made the claim that he incited an insurrection with his words.
he did.
But you
But
just said
that's
it doesn't
not-
matter, but then
but-
you just said it doesn't matter what he says.
When it comes to Donald Trump, it doesn't matter what he says as far as what he's going to do. Like, for example, with the young lady that was very inappropriate earlier, okay? What she was saying and what you were arguing about the Project 2025, yeah, Donald Trump said he didn't have anything to do with it, okay? But watch what happens. This is what the lady was saying, and this is what I believe too. You can't trust what's coming out of his mouth,
Do you
okay? But
understand
that's different.
Hold on. A majority of Project 2025 requires Congress. You understand that, right?
Congress is a puppet to Trump right now.
No.
And that's what's scary. That's what's scary, because if the Congress would stand up to Trump, okay, like the leader of I forget his name, Paul Ryan was the leader of the House during the first administration. He stood up to Trump, okay? But this Mike Johnson, he's just a puppet. And Trump is going to walk all over him. And I can't stand the way Trump and Elon Musk go to these politicians
You're
and they
really
tell them
emotional about this topic.
if they don't vote,
Dave,
Elon Musk, this is a
Dave.
subversion of power right here. Wait, let me make this one little point,
No,
and then I'll
because
stop.
You've made 12 points each time you talk, and then I chart to engage one, and then you pivot to other points. Like, we're not staying on topic. So when we talk about Congress, a majority of this stuff would require 60 votes in the Senate. Republicans don't have that. They have 53, correct?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. What can be done under reconciliation and what can't be.
Well, when we're talking about a lot of the stuff within Project 2025, it would require a supermajority in the Senate.
Thank God.
So, okay, so let's put that aside. Additionally, can you show me in writing where it shows that Trump helped author Project 2025?
I didn't say he did.
Okay.
I
So
said
this
he
is
was.
reading that.
I said he was going to implement it. I didn't say he. I'm not saying he was the author of it. And here, it's not just Trump. It's the people he's surrounding himself with.
Okay,
Don't you
so-
see this?
Okay, so now we're moving on to another one. Okay, what's the next complaint that you have? Oh, go ahead, Blackjack, real quick. Go ahead.
So if Congress is now a puppet to Trump, please, for the love of God, explain the RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, and Kash Patel grilling that we have watched the last 24 hours, and we're not sure if they're going to make it.
Well, the grilling was done by the Democrats.
And some Republicans.
You didn't notice the Republicans fawning all over the candidates?
You act as if
Come on, what do you
wouldn't do this with
see
it.
the same hearings?
You
didn't
act
see
as
the
if the
same
Democrats. You act as if the Democrats wouldn't do this over their picks for confirmation hearings too. Like, let's be honest with ourselves.
Two of the three people I mentioned were lifelong.
Oh, are you really? Really? Are we gonna? How can you compare any of the people that he picked? Okay, any of the people, they are so unqualified for the job. The only reason that he picked them was because of their unwavering loyalty.
You think Scott Bessent is unqualified for the job?
I have to say I'm not familiar with that one. Which position
Then
is
I
he?
wouldn't make a claim that every single one of them is not qualified for the job.
Well, let me say most of them then, okay?
No.
I mean, to have the nerve to try and nominate Matt Gaetz, That was so insulting. Oh my God.
Why? I love that this is what you're so upset about when he didn't even he didn't even take the so like I would consider what you get worked up because some things aren't worth getting worked up.
Robert RFK. I mean, are you kidding me? You know what happened in Samoa. Okay, this guy's anti-vaccination, and look what's happening already in this country. Already, all of those illnesses are on the rise because more and more parents are deciding not to vaccinate their children because people have scared these people into thinking that vaccinations cause autism, which has been proven that is not true.
Did you have something you wanted to say real quick?
I would more say that a lot of people are choosing not to vaccinate because of the operation that was run as a whole of government plan under COVID, which caused people to lose trust in the medical system and the government.
Well, I think that was a lot more recent, but this has been going on for a lot longer.
Dave, do you agree that our country is unhealthy?
Yes.
Do you agree that our children are unhealthy?
No, I wouldn't go there. I would say, older people and our food choices are very poor in this country as far as health is concerned.
And what is something that RFK has focused a lot on as far as his mission and what he wants to do to help this country?
The problem is what he has been recorded saying in the past versus what he is saying now. Which do you believe? He has spent decades, with spreading misinformation throughout. Total misinformation. He has been a laughing stock, of the scientific community as far as this, infectious diseases and whatnot. He doesn't believe in the hepatitis vaccine. He doesn't believe in this vaccine. This one causes cancer. I mean, he's a walking misinformation, and he's scaring people.
You've got a lot of background on this too. I don't know if you're like wrestling with a toaster, but it's crazy.
I'm sorry. I'm driving. But if you want to drop, I've pretty much said my piece. If you want to, talk to somebody else,
Okay.
I understand. But those are my concerns. Okay, if you don't see them, that's my concern is that other people don't see them. They just gloss over it.
I can hear your concerns. I don't agree with them because what I want to disrupt the status quo. We have a extraordinarily low level. Hold on, I'm still talking. We have an extraordinarily low level of confidence in our government agencies currently. So what we're doing isn't working. What we are doing by just putting in these bureaucratic individuals, just the status quo through and through, going to toe the line, not change anything, not disrupt anything, not try to bring about change in our government. I don't want that. So myself and 77 million other Americans voted for change. And that's what we're pursuing. RFK brought a ton of votes to Trump. A ton of votes to Trump. A lot of independent voters stand with RFK. And a big reason is because we agree that our children are sick. We have over 20% of children are obese. That's insane. Like, what? As one of the leading nations in the world, it's not okay. We have to figure out something. And I believe that we should approach vaccines carefully and thoughtfully and ensure that they're being done safely with the minimal amount of side effects that we can, adverse side effects. I understand we can't eliminate them completely, but I just want us to be responsible in approaching these vaccines. I don't know that we were as responsible as we could have been with the COVID vaccine. And I also,
admitted, wait a minute. They admitted in European Parliament, Janine Small, the Pfizer representative, to the Danish Prime Minister, that they never tested whether or not the Pfizer vaccine stops transmission from human to human.
And I can't go too far into this topic because I'm not sure if Tiki Talk is still super sensitive about it. I'm hopeful.
I think it's a moot point because it's the most widely tested vaccine that has ever been on the planet. More people have taken the COVID vaccine than anyone has ever taken any vaccines. Okay,
No, no,
so
that's
yeah,
really
there are injuries, but millions of people's lives were saved worldwide by that vaccine. And how anybody could deny that science is just beyond me.
Well, because I'm a scientist.
And if I can pivot for a second, he just announced that he's going to slap the 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. You don't think that that's going to raise grocery prices and gas prices?
1%. That's the number, 1%. So
Yeah, the background noise, I can barely hear Blackjack, Dave, because it's just so loud. So I'm gonna have to drop you down, Dave.
Okay.
It's just too, I don't know what's, again, it sounds like you're wrestling a toaster. So loud. I don't know. It was too much noise. Maybe he needs to take his car in because it sounded a little janky. Not trying to insult you, Dave, but there was, I don't know. Maybe he had it like in his cup holder with the change rattling. But Dave, I would go for a walk when you get home. Go for a walk outside.
We still have no information or proof about transmission. Still, right now, today. We don't know.
Well, I can't talk about that.
Okay.
I just don't know if Tiki Talk is gonna. I agree with you.
And here I am on my backup account because my main account's in the corner. I'll be good.
Okay. Well, do you want to switch out for Intel?
Yeah, bring them up.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming up. I appreciate you.
This was so awesome.
Happy
See ya.
Friday. See ya.
Happy Friday.
Oh.
Hello.
There's a dog. Okay. Everyone, please keep tapping the screen. I would love to get to 75,000 likes. I had some time this afternoon. I wanted to go live. Give me a follow. Political Lives 3 times a week. I'm working on getting my live from yesterday up to YouTube tonight. So you can go subscribe to my YouTube. The link is in my bio. So shameless plug. Hi, Sherry.
Real quick, when that guy was talking about the congressional hearings and the selections, one only needs to point to the FAA commissioner that Biden put up, who had zero aviation background, zero, like not even a little bit, and and he got selected. So I mean, it's just the hypocrisy is ridiculous when we're talking about nominees for these positions.
Well, can I say something to him about that?
Yeah.
I got something to say. You just said that Biden brought somebody up to be FAA, head of FAA, and wasn't qualified enough. I'm more qualified than Pete Hegseth to be the.
How many years? How many
that?
years? Hold on, Sherry. How many years did you serve in the military?
I didn't. I was a civil service for 35.
Okay, so I think I would say just that alone, he probably is more qualified than you.
And that's your opinion. His military service was shoddy at best.
Shoddy.
Shoddy.
Two Bronze Stars and 2 combat tours.
I'm not.
Most people can't get those.
And we came out and went to work for Fox News.
Even the people who don't like Pete Hegseth acknowledge his like exemplary military career. So that just
Kind of
makes
like
you
Trump acknowledged McCain's.
What? Hold on, we're talking about Hegseth.
And we're talking about military.
I think McCain was a war.
No, we're
hawk.
talking about
No.
Hegseth.
The bottom line is 6 of one, half dozen of another. The last gentleman you had on with the hanky car.
Yeah.
Okay, I found him to be
Janky.
very, very passionate and trying to get through to you, trying to get his point across anyway. And you cut it off. You're not going to hear it.
Well, Sherry, did I not let him speak for quite a while?
Yes and no. You cut him off, and every time he would make a point and then try to ask further, you say, no, don't go off, don't get off topic, don't get off topic.
Yeah, because I wanted to address, if he raised 12 points, I'm only gonna be able to address one at a time.
But he was answering you. And when he answered you and then he went to go take it further, you chopped him off at the knees.
Oh, so maybe he just
That's my
couldn't
opinion.
engage with me when I asked the questions?
Pardon me, I didn't hear you.
I said maybe he just couldn't engage with the questions I was asking?
Maybe he couldn't. We'll never know.
Right, okay. So
We'll never know.
Could
I
be
just wanted
like
to say
that.
that when you're in a forum like this and you can't see each other, I can see you, you can't see me. Okay, but when you're in this kind of a forum, it's very, very difficult to communicate. And you as the moderator, for lack of a better way of putting it,
Who said I'm the moderator?
I think you're doing a fine job. Time out, don't see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Let me finish and then you can have a turn.
Okay.
That's how we do things.
Hey, it's my life, Sherry. I'll tell you how we do things.
Oh,
Cheryl, I think
go ahead, Mom.
Cheryl, I think
You sound,
Cheryl, I
you
think
know what?
you're-
There's another job
Cheryl,
for you. I got a job
Cheryl.
for you. You
Okay,
can
what's
be
the
the,
job?
You could be the
Cheryl.
person that backs up the lady at the press secretary.
Cheryl.
because
Oh, I actually,
she's grumpy.
Sherry, I did
She's so
apply.
grumpy, and
I
you
did-
would fit right in.
I'm not grumpy though. So
But you
I
are.
did apply for a press pass though, so you might see me there at some
Although I
point.
want to
That would
see
be
Aaron
great.
Parnas, but that's okay.
Well, I might get to go, so that'd be kind of cool.
Aaron's
that
kind
would
of a
be
shill.
great.
So,
Oh,
Cheryl, when
It's
people
Sherry.
host their lives,
It's Sherry.
Well, it says Cheryl on your thing.
It says
Anyways,
Sherry Lynn.
oh, Sherry Lynn, very well.
Thank you.
So Sherry, when people host lives, they're the host, so they dictate the terms.
I understand.
And you are, well, do you though? Because you keep interrupting the host who is dictating the terms. So, maybe, just maybe, cool it and address the live the way she wants it to be addressed. She's not the moderator.
Do I
she's
bow
the
at your
host.
feet now? Is that the regime that we're in now? Do I bow at your feet now and say, yes, master?
If that's what you want to do, go for it.
No.
why would you have to like, Sherry?
I don't like the way he was speaking to me, okay?
My name. Okay, well, you're on a TikTok live. I don't know what to
I
tell
don't care.
you. He wasn't
I'm a human
disrespectful.
being, first and foremost.
So am I, and you're barking at me.
No, I'm
So-
yelling at you, not barking.
And then you said I'm like grumpy, which I'm not really a grumpy person. I have 2 dogs who I adopted. I have 4 ducks and 2 cats, 2
I have
daughters.
2 kids, 5 grandkids, 2 great grandkids, 2 dogs, and a cat.
See? Look at
And I'm married 45 years.
We're both dog lovers, so at least we can connect there, Sherry.
I like people too, though. I like some people in mind.
I would say you only like people who behave the way that you would
Not
like
a chance. Not a chance. It makes the world go round.
Okay, so you like me.
Of course, it's not a question of like you or don't like you. It's a question of I don't know how to communicate with you. So I'm trying to figure out a way.
So the best way to communicate with me is if you want to raise your point about what you're afraid of in the next 4 years and not name 12 things at once, if we can go like point by point and have a discussion on those points, that's probably the
Absolutely.
most effective way to communicate with me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ground
what are you
rules
most
set.
afraid of? What?
I said you set the ground rules for me. I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did that a few guests ago. You might not have been
Well,
here.
I wasn't here. I came in, and when I came in, you were, pardon me, and for lack of a better way of putting it, you were kind of berating the guy with the shoddy car, and I thought you were being one-sided from
Okay,
where I
Kat.
entered. Where I
Kat,
entered the room.
Kat, put a yes or a no if I was berating the guest, in your opinion.
Oh, they're going to say no. Come on, I'm not new. I'm not that new.
I get a lot of trolls in here, but okay, it's looking like
Well, I'm
no.
not a troll. Okay, I legitimately am worried about our country. Period.
Okay, well, let's talk about what you're most afraid of in the next 4 years.
I'm just afraid of Project 2025. He flat out lied to us when he said straight up, I don't know anything about that. He's a freaking liar. That's a straight up lie.
I don't think he should have said he didn't know anything about Heritage Foundation
But he
or
did.
didn't know anything about it. I think that was a dumb thing to say. I think he was wrong for saying that. What I will say though is I don't have any evidence that he plans to move forward with Project 2025 versus Agenda 47.
Okay. His Make America Great Again. We're just renaming the document. That's my opinion. I believe we're just renaming the document to suit his purpose because he didn't lay claim to Project 2025. He said he didn't know anything about it. So now that he's signing all these executive orders that are going pretty much down the row for Project 2025, the 900-page document that shows all these, take us back to Heil Hitler days. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here either. Sorry.
Can't say that word.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what I can and can't say. I keep hearing people say I'm tiki-talking. I don't understand. So
What do you think that he's done that is like Schmittler?
okay, that's how you say it. Okay, I didn't see. I learn something new every day. Right off the top of my head, I would be lying if I tried to grab at it and say, "Hey, I know exactly what he said or what he's doing," because I don't. That's the problem. I don't understand. I just know that he's being extremely, extremely, in my opinion, his speech is abusive. He's disrespecting women.
Hold on. You said his actions were going right down the line, right just like Schmittler.
All right, he's feeling. I said his actions are going right down the line of Project 2025.
But then you compared him to Schmittler right after that.
Well,
Is it
because
his
that's my personal. That's what I see as an older American, as somebody who it was really prevalent for us to learn. And I went to Dachau and I lived in Germany and I saw all those things and it's extremely, extremely frightening.
Can you tell
Okay,
me?
and
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
You understand how our system of government works, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we can't have a dictator, which is a vast difference from
53 days.
1930s,
53 days.
which is a vast difference from 1930s Germany.
53 days.
What about 53 days?
That's all it took to dismantle a government was 53 days.
Okay, did Germany have a constitution?
I didn't live in Germany. I don't know. I didn't live there when this happened. I was there when the wall came down.
Our system of government is quite different. And again, I'd like to know what
I don't
actions,
trust that it is.
what actions has he taken that indicate that he's pursuing a Schnazi agenda?
Taking away a woman's rights to choose, the abortion, just hear me out. Hear me out. I see the look on your face and I get where you're coming from. There's a whole bunch to it, and one answer is not gonna. I'm gonna throw myself to the wolves with the answer. So, the bottom line is, he scares me. He needs to be praised. He needs to be. You must bow at his feet. You must enter when you walk in. When he walks in a room, he sucks all the air out. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's like, I'm here. You will acknowledge me. You will bow down to me, and I have a problem with that.
So let's go. When we talk about abortion, you're talking about the Roe v. Wade decision, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that went to states. So it's now in the states' hands if they're going to limit.
I'm in California. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I'm good to go no matter
It's
what.
it's no longer in Trump's hands, and it wasn't federally banned. And he's not pursuing a federal ban. It's in the states' hands.
Okay, I'm going to just say, just wait. That's all I'm going to say. Just wait, because we're not done with this yet.
What do you
And I
think he's
can't
going to
predict
do?
the future. I can just say what I think is going to happen, and it's going to get worse before it gets better.
What do you think
in
he's
that
going to do
respect.
with abortion?
Pardon me?
What do you think he's going to do with abortion?
I don't know. That's the scary part, is that I'm not sure. He's going to make it worse. I mean, I think he's going to do an all-out ban. He said he wouldn't do it. I don't believe him. Like he said, he didn't know what Project 2025 was. I just don't trust the guy.
Does Trump have unilateral authority to pursue a federal ban?
He can pursue whatever he wants to. Now, whether it gets done, there's ramifications and rules you have to follow and ways you have to do it.
Through
But
Congress.
he can pursue whatever he wants.
It would have to go through Congress, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. But
Okay, and we would need hold on.
but to fire all those attorneys general or the
Hold on. So it would have to go through Congress. They would need 60 senators to vote yes on a federal abortion ban. Republicans have 53.
I'm aware of that.
So it's very unlikely you're going to see a federal ban of abortion. So I would leave
This is what I don't understand. Everybody keeps talking about these party lines. What happened to America's line? What happened to, I'm going to do what's right for the country. I'm going to uphold the Constitution. What happened to all of that? I'm a Republican. I have to support Trump. I'm a Democrat. I have to support Harris. What
So
the
I'm
hell?
an independent, first
So
of
am
all.
I.
Okay. I'm an
So am I.
independent who leans right.
I'm an independent. He's left.
What
Okay.
about abortion was about the Constitution?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What about the abortion? What about abortion is constitutional?
Well, really nothing. I spoke out of turn. I was out of bounds with that. My comment went astray, and I apologize for that. The bottom line is, Roe v. Wade. I was a 13-year-old kid when that thing got passed, and I just remember all the women fighting, and finally it happened.
So,
And then it just got. We set up the Supreme Court with all the right people. Hear me out. With all the right people, so that if and when I am able to get this in front of you, this stands a chance. Not only did it stand a chance, it happened.
okay. And RBG raised concerns about Roe v. Wade and how it would stand up to further scrutiny. And it was in fact reversed. It's at the state level. There's 9 states who have no term limits on elective abortions, which is crazy and gross in my opinion. But one thing,
I don't believe in abortion. Just so you know, I raise children. That's not my way of. But that's not. I'm not there to decide for other people.
okay, but the point is that it's at the state level. So I would argue, people can go vote for legislators who will pursue the abortion stance that they believe in. Another thing is, I find it interesting.
Oop! I can't hear you. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear anything you just said.
You're good. So when we talk about women's rights, are you familiar with Title IX?
No.
So Title IX,
Yeah, not by the name. I don't know.
so it was rolled out in 1972 to prevent sex-based discretion in education.
Yes.
And, they saw a huge lack of participation, a high level of discrimination against women in schools, public schools across the country. So any institution that receives even $1 of federal funding for education falls under Title IX. And so what happened is the Biden administration added gender identity to Title IX, therefore undoing the protections that were sex-based protections for females. It was a huge part of the women's rights movement. So I am uncomfortable with an administration that pursued that policy and believes that males can compete against females in sports, can enter our spaces, take our scholarships, take our opportunities, not allow for female-only spaces. So that was a big factor in why I voted the way I did.
And I agree with you. I can't argue with that.
Okay. So we agree on that.
I'm a reasonable person. I really am. It's just this man that we're calling president, number 47, or President Trump, whatever. I'm trying really hard to just swallow it and do it. He frightens me. He didn't get the respect he felt he deserved the first time around. So this time he's coming in, and it's my opinion. Everybody take a breath.
Well,
the man is a loose cannon.
The American people spoke, and they voted for him. And so
I know.
he's doing what he was hired to do.
I know. I agree. You're right. And I can't change it. That's what I said. I'm trying to learn how to swallow it and just deal with it. And I don't want to.
When you start to, when you make pretty egregious statements, like comparing him to Schmittler or thinking that we're going to become 1930s Germany, I would just take a breath and also recognize our system of government is vastly different and try to find actions specifically that either support or challenge your views. So go through and read some of the executive orders. Spend some time reading what he's doing.
I am, and I'm not there yet. I am. I'm doing exactly what you said. I'm trying to. It's just so much. It's like a shitstorm going on. I don't know how else to put it.
Start with the ones that you might be most
information overload.
If you're most concerned with immigration or DEI or T rights, I have to say T, but trans.
I don't know what I'm most concerned with. There's so much to be concerned with. I don't know which is top.
Well, yeah. I can't keep up with the executive orders. There's some that I like. There's some that I was so on. So
well, at least you're being honest. Thank you.
Yeah, I have videos critiquing Trump. So
well, I just came across you, and you stopped me, and I was watching you talk to, or listening to you talk to that gentleman, and I got mad. Then I thought, okay, well, I agree. Well, I was waiting in the queue for a minute, and I thought, well, at least she's fair.
I try to be.
So you are.
I feel like I'm pretty reasonable.
That's logic.
And sometimes you just have to talk to someone directly and not sit in the background. And thank you for hearing me out. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, give me a follow if you want. So.
Absolutely. What's this? Boom.
Sherry,
Yes.
before you go, I just have a question. Have you seen videos of Trump interact with children and regular people? Have you ever seen that?
I sure have.
Okay. I'd imagine your takeaway is pretty positive, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And then also, I think Logic may have already mentioned this, but on these topics, it's best just to go to the source and read the source material. If you do not find time and you're having to rely on the news, highly recommend getting it from both sides so you can stay centered.
I try.
Okay.
I just can't get past Fox News. I just can't do it.
I stopped. That's the thing is I stopped watching the news about 5 or 6 years ago, and so I do have to rely on sound bites and have to doing my own research, and it does take me longer. But I just feel more calmer about the world.
Yeah, but you know what you've deciphered as being right and wrong, and you've done that yourself, and I think that's very important.
Well, thanks, Sherry. I appreciate it.
Yep,
Thank you.
thanks.
I hope you guys have a great day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. See, I'm not so bad.
Just waiting for you to get into the Congress or something.
I wish. I think I'd have to run as an independent in my district, to be honest, because we just elected a Republican.
There you go.
Hi, little mama. Hello? Little mama, do you know you're up here? Okay. Bye. I don't want your private conversation to be blasted to 860 people. Guys, give me a follow, tap the screen. Oh my gosh, we're at 100,000 likes. You guys are incredible. Thank you for all the gifts to this point, for tuning in for this long. I appreciate y'all. Keep commenting all the things because it really, really helps push the live out. So thank you again. Let's see. Okay. And I don't know what order y'all requested, so I'm really, really sorry. I don't know if TikTok has updated that. Hi, The Real.
Hey.
Oh.
Uh, it says, what are you most afraid of in the next 4 years? The only thing that I'm afraid of is that people are going to start protesting to get Trump out of office. That's it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
so
was,
you agree with us.
yeah, I totally, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming up. I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you guys.
And hey, as long as they peacefully protest, it's their right to do so. All right. Oh my gosh, y'all are crazy in here. Okay. Hi, Buck.
Wow, I literally just hit request.
Oh, well, don't tell me that because now everyone's going to be mad. I just figured
Oh,
someone.
I'm so sorry. I didn't think about that before. But
Okay.
I mean, it must have been a mistake. We'll just say it was a mistake.
Oh, okay. What's up?
You're not gonna like this because I agree with you. So I just wanted to say that you're amazing and thank you for just being, just like waiting for people to talk and it's very informative and I appreciate you. So I'm not gonna take up your time on this. So thank you.
W. Buck Kitty. I appreciate it. Thank you. Always love the nice ones. It's a good little breather. Okay. Hi, real life.
Hi there, how you doing?
Good. Your mic's kind of quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me okay now?
No. Is it quiet for you, Intel?
How about that?
Okay,
How about
wait.
that? Can you hear
There
me?
you go. There you
Yeah.
go. That works.
Yeah, I had you hooked up to my daggone, I'm an old hillbilly. Had you hooked up to my charger. I'm an attorney, and I've noticed a lot of this crap, but it's the media, and I hate to act like a tinfoil hat wearing hillbilly, but I'll tell you, the media wants us to all be afraid because if we're afraid, then they can divide us easier. And it just seems what's going on. Our country is very strong. I'm a big constitutionalist. I have a good practice going to I also have a substance abuse and addiction clinic. So I work with all types of people. And I think everybody just need to take a breath, man. And
I agree. And
just,
can I get W Hillbillies in the chat, please? Thank you, Real Life, for coming up. I appreciate it. That's why I host these lives. I want people,
you're,
if I can help provide information to people to ease their fears, that is the goal. So
and you're very good, and I'm an up and coming podcaster, and I love the way you do things. So I may try to steal some of your style here. So I appreciate it.
Look out. All right. Well, thanks for coming up, Real Life. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much. You're good. Really
Thanks.
appreciate
Take
it.
care. All right. Okay, guys, if you agree with me, get out. Get out of the queue just for a little bit. Hi, John.
Hello, how you doing? I only joined because did I hear you say you were running for office?
Maybe one day.
Okay, so I am running for office, Congress actually, and I can't comment for my campaign manager on policy, but I am a Republican. But I will tell you, you should tell your followers to vote in primaries because that will change everything. That is the number one issue that there is right now. All these people who are voting for all these things, it's because no one votes in primaries. The turnout is sickeningly low.
Agreed.
So if they really want to change all this policy, I just always, when I see bigger creators and I have a YouTube, I just like to tell people, vote in primaries. If you don't do it, more people should run state house, city council stuff. And that's all I want to say. And I'd encourage you to definitely do it. Social media presence definitely helps just a ton. So that was it. I can't comment on policy because I've been asked not to do that for another year.
I support your message. So best of luck too.
Thanks. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Speaking on, they're collecting candidates now, Logic. So I'm assuming you're not planning on doing anything this next 2 years.
Oh God.
I don't know. Hi, Gregory.
Hey, I forgot. You said if we agree with you to get out, and I was literally trying to figure out how to do that. I apologize, but
Just on your way out the door.
no, like I've literally
Doing the Irish goodbye.
I've never watched someone's live this long, and because I guess I would be a conspiracy theorist, but like a realist at the same time. And you've educated me pretty dang well in the past 30, 40 minutes ever since I got off work.
Sweet. I'll take it. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, and I really keep pushing on. Don't let nobody bully you because you're like Like no lie, you all the cabinet picks that Trump has did, like the press secretary and everybody. I am glad to see powerful women who aren't scared to speak their voice and be who they want to be, no matter what. And I absolutely love your stream so far, and I just keep it up, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really, really kind. Thank you.
You're
Y'all are
welcome.
making me blush. Stop it. Nope, I can't. You're gonna make me rosy. So someone has to be angry about Trump in the next one I bring up, okay? You guys are really kind. Thank you. All right.
Oh no, you picked the wrong person. I'm not angry about Trump.
Okay, well, thank you for
But I do have a concern.
Okay.
And I don't think it's something, it's not in the media because we just heard about it. We're commercial farmers in Montana.
Mhm.
And with this tariff thing going on, we were contacted at 1 o'clock today and told that by 5 o'clock we needed to have all of our fertilizer for at least the next year bought because they were going to be possibly having issues with like the stuff that comes out of Canada.
Okay.
Oh, hi, gamer. So, but that is a little bit of a concern, is because we do, for what we grow here, we export everything out. All of our stuff gets exported out, but we do import in a lot of our fertilizer and stuff. So I think that is a huge concern of how long will this go on? Because when the vid hit, farmers were drastically impacted with getting replacement parts. It really impacted local farming practices. And people might not think that that's a big deal. Like when I sit here and talk about farming, they're like, oh, well, it's just the farmers. But I don't think that they realize how much that impacts the food source locally.
Well,
And
let me,
so,
and I do want to, because I'm going to be, hopefully, if I get my poop in a group, which I've said this for months now, so I'm not making any promises. But my goal is to start launching like 20 to 30-minute podcast episodes on YouTube. Would you be willing to come on and have a conversation about the farming industry with me?
yeah, of course.
Okay, can you shoot me a DM? Because I will 100% forget otherwise.
Yeah, no, of course. But it is a huge concern. And, you know, it was a little bit of a panic because we had our agronomist call us and, you know, we're hoping that it doesn't last for long, but we have no idea. And for people wondering, you know, why we can't get fertilizer, it comes out of plants that are out of country. So it gets shipped from Canada. So
Well,
in the amount,
I
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think there's probably a lot of industries that are probably in a similar situation right now, because Mexico is also our largest trade partner. So we're going to see what happens. I don't know. I think something needs to change, but I'm hoping negotiations can happen and that especially our farmers aren't horribly impacted. So yeah, but I would love to have a
And with that,
conversation.
yeah, and with that being said, though, like one thing I do want to say is, you know, for typical farmers, voting Democrat is usually a better option. You get more government funding, and I will say I don't know any farmer that voted for someone other than Trump this year. And even though this could personally impact us, and it personally is right now, like it's a very scary time, I still full-heartedly support this man and would like unalive on that cross for him because that's how much like I think that what he's doing is right. So even though that this personally impacts us and that in the last couple of years we've seen people losing their farms because of the Biden administration and things that have been going on that you guys have no clue about, I'm still in full support of Trump and what he's doing because although there's going to be growing pains for us, I think it's sorry. Even though there's going to be growing pains for a lot of farmers and people that are producing crops, I think that it is necessary and it's going to be beneficial for the majority of the people. And so, yeah, I just wanted to come up and say like the tariff thing, just for product, like I'm not afraid of tariffs. I think his tariff plan is necessary. I think it's good, but I think that it is in those growing pains. I think that's going to be a little bit scary for some people.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
So, yeah, you can drop me now.
Okay, take care. Thank you. Hi, Swiss Guy Beats. Sorry, you had an echo. Do you want to try unmuting?
Yeah, am I good now?
Let me see. Yeah, I think you're okay.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, so I'm one of the few people that's angry, and scared of what's going to happen because I'm afraid that government will become too big, especially with the amount of executive orders that have been signed. When we should go in the opposite direction and shrink as a government and have less regulation and less of the government telling us what we can and can't do.
What would you say like are some of the executive orders that you're most concerned about?
Just the amount of executive orders that have been signed. It's not like what's in the executive orders per se. A lot of the executive orders that have been signed are things that are just explanation of the law. It's not really like, it's not bringing a new law. It's just like, hey, this is what we think the interpretation is. For example, Trump didn't need to sign any executive order to send people to protect the border. He could just send people down there because that's lawfully okay. So
Well,
it's
he
just,
had to announce that it was a crisis, though.
Like, so him declaring it like an invasion / national emergency does expand his authority.
but that's what I'm afraid of, is that we shouldn't have to do things like that to expand authority, or they shouldn't expand authority at all, because like I said, the government has become too strong, and that's why we're in the position that we're in, why taxes are way too high. And
Hold on. I'm for a smaller federal government as well. But I also know that a huge reason why he was elected as president is because the border's out of control. And it's been out of control the last 4 years. And so what he's done in the first week is he's, got whatever he needed to in place to ensure that we can get the border under control and secure again. So I don't know.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, though, he didn't have to say it was a crisis because it was already declared a crisis years and years
it wasn't.
ago.
Biden removed that on day one. So Trump made it a crisis, and then when Biden came in, he said, "Nope, there is no crisis," and then didn't enforce any of the laws on the books to allow unfettered illegal immigrants. And then Trump declared it a crisis so he could apply the military. It also helped that he made the drug cartels a T group, so to apply more authorities through the military to support that effort. And then one other thing. One of the executive orders he passed was for every new regulation, 10 have to go. So that's his first approach to shrinking government.
Yeah, he signed an executive order reversing everything that Biden did, so he technically didn't need to sign another 300 executive orders.
You can't just sign one executive order that undoes the previous guys.
But he did, though.
You have to be specific in which executive order you're.
I know but he did, though. So, anyways, it's okay.
Wait, what? So you said he signed an executive order that oh. Okay.
That's cognitive dissonance at work.
Maybe he didn't mean to exit, but okay. Bye. All right.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So I actually am a really big Trump supporter, and I'm prior military, so that's why I do have one problem with one of the things that he had did. I think is very unfair, where he is allowing the military personnel that were removed from the military for not taking the C-19 vaccine. I really struggle with that because when I joined the military, they made it very, very, very clear, crystal clear to you before you signed. You are no longer going to have rights that American citizens have. You are government property. I have no idea what immunizations I even received. We stood in a line and we went down a line and got 15 vaccines when we get to basic training. You have no idea what they're even putting in your body.
So some of these individuals had already been through basic training and had been in the military for some time. They simply were not comfortable getting the COVID vaccine. You believe that they should have been let go?
I do, only because even after basic training, we still had to do it. So when we were pre-deployment and we were going to get our vaccines, I got a Japanese shot. Again, don't even know the name of it because they don't even disclose to you what you're getting. I got a Japanese shot, and I now have a forever autoimmune disease. I had my first heart attack and stroke at the age of 29 because of that vaccine. So, it seems unfair that all of us were forced to take things we weren't supposed to, and they tell you before you sign that dotted line.
I know, but I guess I disagree because COVID vaccine was introduced after. It was a new vaccine, and a lot of these individuals are healthy young adults who would be just fine faring against COVID. They were not comfortable getting the vaccine. They were let go. I fully agree with Trump reinstating them and offering back pay.
I would never take the COVID vaccine. Personally, I would never. I don't agree with it. But I just don't understand why people can't have the same rule.
Just because you had to?
No, because the rules should be the same for everyone. I don't believe in special treatment. I think that should have been more for like the first responders and everyone else that lost their jobs, that didn't sign a contract saying, I don't have a choice what happens to my body.
You don't agree with the COVID vaccine, but you want it mandated.
No, not at all. I'm saying I don't think that they should get back pay and all this extra special treatment because they refused a vaccine, that if I were to refuse a vaccine of any other kind, I would have had the exact same treatment.
You agree this was a unique vaccine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so it would require unique consideration.
Not when you're in the military. You can even get in trouble and get kicked out if you get a sunburn for destruction of government property. No other place is going to do that to you. And I also think
you're not gonna get kicked out, but I mean you can't get a page 11 or 15 or whatever branch issues
It depends on your chain of command. I've seen
not
people
really.
that got
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. There's a reason why the UCMJ exists. And this whole thing of like they don't even tell you what the shots are that they give you, that's absolutely wrong. They have to disclose it to you by law. None of that matters.
Maybe things are a little different from when I was in, but they did not tell us at all.
They're required by law. It's always been this way. Like your tetanus, your polio, your whooping cough, meningitis, cholera, typhoid, and I've been out of the military for like 13 years.
So I went in probably before everybody, and I've been in probably longer than everyone. And I'm just going to tell you what they do is they do announce all of the vaccines prior to giving them to you. You may not have paid attention when they were announcing it in the room and they all had you line up and get the numerous shots, but they read them all off to you, and you accepted that. And then to Logic's point, COVID the vaccine was a unique situation. I even had the anthrax shots.
I was about to say, what about that anthrax and that?
No, I know, I agree with you, and I know a lot of people that had awful side effects to it, and like sorry, that's all they tell you, sorry. So that's what I'm saying. I just feel like it's unfair when a lot of other people suffered from vaccines, and like only one vaccine gets a special treatment. That's my only point. I'm not saying that they should just force everyone to have these vaccines. I don't agree with people being forced.
Oh, I think she muted herself.
I didn't. I was getting a call. I'm sorry. I was like, but I don't think that it's fair that we can only make a special exception to one vaccine.
Yeah,
that's my only.
But you're not. The reason why the reason, like, I understand the point you're making, but there's a heavy level of invalidity to it, and the reason why it's invalid with what you're trying to bring up is because there's a difference between a governmental mandate about something that's being new, that's giving you an ultimatum, compared to something being disclosed to you as an option. And if you choose not to take that option, this is something that you're willing to accept as part of that choice. The governmental mandate, there was no executive order or governmental interference that would come out and say, you're going to take anthrax or you're going to get punished. No. When you join the military and you sign those documents that are telling you that there are limitations to what you think your quote-unquote rights are because of the standards the UCMJ puts in front of you, that you consensually sign up for, when they say, hey, it's time for you to get your shots, and you object to it for a personal reason, that is your choice, not a governmental interference saying this is going to be forced on you, and if you choose not to do it, then you're getting a consequence. So you have to understand the difference between the consensuality of the vaccines you're volunteering for compared to governmental mandates being put on military people and being punished because they aren't comfortable with it.
So I guess
they absolutely should get back pay and reinstated for that.
Did you see people who said, no, I'm not taking a vaccine? Did that work for them?
You mean as a consensual choice? Absolutely. How about when you get special assignments and you get deployed overseas? You get additional shots that are disclosed to you just to go to special assignments that, again, you consensually are signing up for. If you choose not to get those, then you can't do the assignment that you're wanting to volunteer for.
I feel like that's my point. What am I not understanding? Like, I'm not trying to
I
be
think
rude.
you're.
I
I
just feel
think
like I'm
you're.
not
I
understanding
think
the
the
point you're making.
comprehension issue is you're not making the distinction between something that's consensual and voluntary and something that's becoming mandated. I think that's your disconnect, because all of the vaccinations that you would be signing up for on your own are still options that you have the choice and have always had the choice to opt out of, given that you have these consequences. But that's a consensual choice you're making. Once you're in and you've done the things that have been put out, if an executive order or a governmental mandate comes out and says, we think it's necessary for you to force these people in this position to get this thing, and if they don't get it, you punish them for it, that takes away the principle of consent. Would you agree?
So yes, so you're saying that if you join the military and they give you your immunizations, you can say, no, I don't want these. That's allowed?
You're absolutely able to say you don't want them. And then guess what happens? They give you the choice of saying, hey, these are being told that you have to take them because this is part of our rules, the things you signed up for. And if you're choosing not to agree with them, these are your choices. That's how consent works. That's how
Right.
consensual actions work.
Okay, so then what are the
COVID
choices
mandate
if you
was not
choose not
consensual.
to? So what are the choices that you are given if you choose not to take them?
I just gave you one example. You don't get the assignment that you asked to join.
Okay, so I'm talking about, I went even farther back and I went to like basic training where
Right.
if you remember, lining up and there's just a bunch of nurses on your right hand side and you just walk to the next nurse and they just hit you with another vaccine. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm going all the way back.
I understand.
So what happens? Have you seen somebody say, no, I'm not taking this
Yes,
shot?
I understand what you're attempting to say. Do you know what consensual agreements are? Do you
Yes,
know what that
I
is?
do.
Okay,
So I'm
explain a consensual agreement.
When you are giving permission and you are agreeing to something on your own.
Right, on your own, right?
Correct.
Do you think the COVID-19 mandate is something that they were doing on their own?
They had their choice at that point to take it or not. I think that the entire C-19 thing was absolute bullshit. I don't support it in any way, shape, or form. That's not even my argument. It's not about what the vaccine was. That's not my argument at all.
No one's arguing about what the vaccine was. No one has mentioned this at all. The disconnect you're having is that you're trying to say that it's exactly the same when you voluntarily sign up for something. Voluntarily, by the way. So there's your consent.
We are voluntarily
sign up for something.
Is my point. Like
Right. So you're volunteering to sign up for this. And then when you meet the requirements that are put forward on it, and then the thing you signed up for is mandated to do something to you that it didn't do before, that is a lack of consent. That's the issue. It wasn't there before, and they were made to do it to you. That's the point. The military was made by the government to do it. That's the difference.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, so is there any other vaccine that's mandated into the military? If you join the military and show up to basic training and stand in that line, are those vaccines not a mandatory vaccine to take in order to progress on to the next section of basic training?
Yes, but that's consensual.
Which still makes it consensual
when
because you signed the contract. That's what I'm saying. Like, as the vaccine comes, it becomes another mandate.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the dissonance here.
Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna
Yeah.
we're circling the drain on this one.
Yeah.
I agree.
Handball against the wall. Handball against the wall.
I agree that they should be reinstated with back pay. I think that was a W. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
If the military itself would have created a policy that would have said, hey, in order for you to continue to do this, or if you want to do this in the future, this would be a thing, like that would be a completely different story. The military didn't make the decision about its COVID vaccinations. The military didn't make that decision. The government forced them to do it, which is why the consent argument holds strong. Because the military was told that they have to do this to people.
All right, I'm gonna bring up some other guests. I've got like 15 in the queue. So,
Excuse me.
Amy, was that all? Was that just the only?
Yeah, that was the only thing I had an issue with. I'm a big Trump fan, so.
Well, thanks for coming up, and thank you all three of you for your service. So,
Yes, thanks, guys.
thanks. Take care. All right. I don't know. I can't tell who's been in here. Thank you, Jonesy. Guys, if we can get to 150,000 likes, I think that would be like some of the most likes I've had in a live. So I appreciate if you guys could tap the screen. Oh, she left. All right. Oh, it's not loading. So I don't know if these people have already left. If it just kicked you, just hop back in the queue. I don't know what it's doing. Hi, Todd.
Hello.
Hello? Todd, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
I was just, I'm not really. I didn't vote for anybody, but I just want to put my 2 cents out there.
Okay. You're kind of away from your phone. I don't know if your hand's covering your mic.
Okay, sorry, my fault.
That's
But
okay.
one is the fact that I want to elaborate for when people talk about how mainstream media is breaking this country.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more so the fact that people in this country is doing that. Because one quote that I take to heart is the fact that when Abraham Lincoln was like, a country divided by itself cannot stand. I mean, we kind of split each other into Democrats and Republicans, which are going to war right now at each other. When Republicans don't side with Democrats and Democrats don't side with Republicans, now everybody's at each other's throat. No matter if the president is like good or bad, whatever. As far as Trump, on the other hand, I disagree with a lot of his stuff that he's doing. Like, it's been 9 days and like everybody is on the chaos. Like, we're losing allies and all that stuff. Not
What
even that.
allies?
Like, you're threatening people. Huh?
What allies have we lost?
Mexico and Canada. I mean,
So
Canada.
Mexico has never been an ally; they've always been a neighbor.
Yeah, but
There
they're
is
trade partners, though, so
there's
I
legal
kind of.
distinct differences, right? But the trade hasn't changed yet, right? Still there.
Yeah, but it could. That's the whole point. Like, the whole question was, what are you afraid in the next years? Nobody knows what's going to happen in the next years. But at what is happening now, Mexico don't like that stuff.
Canada's.
So I'm talking about right now.
When did Canada say they're no longer an ally?
I didn't say they wasn't no longer allies, but they're pissed
But you said we're losing
with the
allies.
whole tariff.
Yeah, there's
Like, if this
definitely gonna be
continues,
negotiations. There's gonna be heated rhetoric back and forth in regards to the tariffs. I know people don't agree with Trump's approach. There's some things I agree with. There's some I don't. But
that's
yeah.
the point.
What do you mean? What's the point?
No, I was saying that's the point. Like, people aren't going to agree with none of this stuff. Like,
Yeah, but I think it's
like
extreme.
I said,
I think it's extreme to say like we're losing allies. I don't know of one that has come on the record and said they're no longer an ally of the United States in the last 9 days.
yeah, but they're not saying that they support us either. So I'm just saying, based off what's going on, that we're most likely about to lose allies. If everything what he's doing now, that, like, I get it, you want to put America first. That's no problem. But you also got to realize America needs people on the outside to help when it's, whether it's trade or whether it's not or military assistance.
But do you agree that a lot of people,
But
a lot of nations need America or rely on America for their economy? Thank you, Clee.
yeah, mm, I mean, it's it depends. Like, if
Like
yeah,
to
most
think,
likely,
to
but
think that
like it's like a one-way thing. Like, everybody needs everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not just America being the most dominant. I get it, but America also needs everybody else. It's just like that. and that's the sad part is like people don't understand this, and like it's just not, it's not that for what Trump is doing, like you know pardoning the January 6 rioters too, and then calling illegal immigrants criminals and all that stuff, but
I
you
don't
know you
think he
pardon
called.
people who
Well,
actually attack the
it,
police.
Hold on. I've said I don't agree with the pardons for the individuals who attacked police. I have a video on this. But I will say there were individuals who served 4 years, which was, the nonviolent offenders. I think they should have been pardoned. I think the charges and the sentencing was excessive for a lot of these people. But I do agree that some of them shouldn't have received a full pardon.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I'm saying. But it happened though.
Yeah, I'm not going to
We can
agree.
agree,
I'm not
agree
going
on
to.
it. But
Todd,
that's
hold
what I'm
on. I'm
saying.
not going to agree with everything Trump does. I don't think there's a president in history that I agree with every single thing they've done. I don't think anyone, if we're being honest with ourselves, agrees with everything a president does. But what I will say is I had two main issues that I was concerned about, and he's delivering on those two issues. So overall, I give him a pretty good rating. I'm pretty satisfied with what he's done, taking into consideration, obviously, the things I disagree with. But I also think our judicial system has done a fantastic job of checking the executive branch where they believe he's stepping outside of his authority, which is exactly how our system of government was designed.
And you saying that you agree with like the mass deportations and all that stuff?
I think I do agree with deportations. I don't know what the definition of mass deportations is to you.
Well, what he's doing now.
Are you covering your mic
Mass
again?
deportation. No, it's yeah. I'm in the
Because
car. So if you
Obama
hear
did
like
a ton of deportations, and I don't think we saw this level of rhetoric or fear around those deportations.
yeah, but it wasn't mass all at once.
Boss
So
lady, when
that's
we're
what.
talking about the federal funding, it did not affect individual assistance payments. Y'all need to get that through your thick skulls, please. Honestly, it says it specifically in the original memo in the footnotes. Anyways, sorry, go ahead, Todd.
But the only thing I'm saying about mass deportation though is the fact that one, if you're willing to open Guantanamo Bay in order to house all these illegal immigrants, is that not considered mass deportation for as when presidents are doing over the span of their presidency?
It can house 30,000. It has 30,000 beds. So from like a facility standpoint, why not use it?
well, it will have 30,000.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it
Well,
never
okay,
did.
dogs out. They're driving me crazy.
But I think what Logic was trying to get at earlier was that Obama is the deporter in chief, right? He's deported more than any other previous president. Now I'm sure Trump will likely break that record, but rightfully
Yeah,
so.
he does.
I mean, but rightfully so, given the amount of criminals that have crossed the border. They need to go back, right? They weren't supposed to be here in the first place.
So if you're saying that they're criminal, how is anybody supposed to legally become Americans now?
Well, they use the
Go
legal process. They
through.
enter the country legally. So they go through the proper immigration
And
process.
I get that, but didn't there reports the fact that people were being pulled from that, even though they were doing the progress anyway?
I haven't seen any reports. If they're here legally, they
There's
should
been
not be.
there've been reports that people have been set up technically. Now it depends on if people believe that or not. That's the whole point. Nobody knows.
Well, right. So why
But
would
at the
I
same,
make a decision on an unknown or take a stance on an unknown? Thank you, Coco. But Todd, I'm gonna move on. Thanks for coming up. I appreciate it. Sorry, I don't know. That might have been rude, but I felt like it wasn't going anywhere. All right. Guys, if you agree with me, get out of the queue, please. Por favor. Tom, I think you agree with me. Tom Perez. Hold on. Hi, Cheap.
I agree with you, hon. I can drop out.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
No worries.
All right. Is Flop Shop loading for you guys?
I see their icon, but I don't hear anything.
I only see their outline.
Okay, it's not loading. They might have already left. All right.
Yeah, how you doing?
Mark, you're back. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really fearful of incompetence being hidden by scapegoating, like we saw when Trump fired the head of the FAA and fired a lot of traffic controllers and gutted our aviation safety. And when a crash happened, he blamed it on DEI. I think that puts a lot of people in danger. That pits Americans against each other. And, you know, of course, we know Trump is going to blame somebody else other than himself. But the
I'm
effect,
showing that the last FAA chief quit.
well, he was pushed out because Elon Musk really hated him for
Did he quit or was he
stopping
fired by Trump?
SpaceX stuff. Huh?
Did he quit or was he fired by Trump?
Well, he was kind of pushed out. He was pushed out by Trump.
So can you agree that you made an incorrect statement?
I feel like he was fired, but
I don't care what you feel like, Mark. He wasn't fired by Trump. That's an inaccuracy.
I think he was pushed out. I've been in situations where
How you feel, he was not
technically
fired by Trump.
I've seen situations technically where the person resigns, but it was really the person was pushed out, and I think that's what happened there. So, I think the main point I'm trying to get to is in the next 4 years, we can look forward to what happened here. Trump's incompetence, his administrative incompetence will be hidden by scapegoating marginalized or vulnerable populations. And it's a coward's tactic. It's a bully's tactic. So instead of taking responsibility like real good leadership does, he's going to blame somebody weak, somebody that can't fight back, somebody's easy to scapegoat. And that really degrades the quality of our culture.
You're kind of just serving a lot of yapperoni without like making a substantial, like giving evidence for your.
Mark,
Did you have
that same energy with
he blamed DEI when there's no evidence whatsoever that black people or gay people caused that accident? It is absolutely ridiculous. And that's another thing when they say DEI hire.
Are you
they're
going to
always
a conversation, or do you want to just keep yapping?
okay. Do you have something to say about like how they're using
was going to
DEI
say something, and then you interrupted him to yap more. So
okay, go ahead.
Take a breather.
I was just curious if Mark had that same energy when Biden with the Afghan
I'm not talking about Biden right now, though. I'm talking
Well,
about.
I'm just asking if you had that same energy. I'm just wondering if you had that same energy with Biden during the Afghan
Yes, I had the same energy. So can we talk about the next 4 years and what Americans are afraid of?
Yeah, sure. So long as you recognize that Biden screwed the pooch on
Yeah, I
Afghan.
have the same energy. Let's move on to the next
That's
4
awesome.
years and what Americans are afraid of.
Mark, this isn't your panel, so I need you to chill a little bit. Okay.
Okay,
You're up here as a guest.
Also,
I'm sorry.
Also, the FAA administrator announced that he was departing in December, so I don't know what that has to do with this recent crash.
Well, there was also a bunch of people fired in the FAA. He basically gutted our aviation safety, and that's the thing about Project 2025. It wants to gut our federal government.
Exactly. You ramble, Mark. Can we take it point by point? How many people were fired by Trump from the FAA? I'm going to look it up as well.
I think it was like hundreds, actually.
So you don't know?
I don't know the exact number. I know it was look up Trump guts FAA. I think that was the title of the article. Everybody can fact check me in the chat. Trump guts FAA.
Did you read the actual article, or did you just read the headline? Hold on.
I read the article. But I didn't memorize it.
Hold on. The effects aren't working. Hold on. So you read the article, but okay, so how many people were let go?
I think I read hundreds.
Who was the article by?
Hold on, I'll bring it up.
Keep on.
So, it's not just the FAA. He wants to do this to a lot of our safety and regulatory bodies. And that, we're going to have a lot of like food safety problems because these agencies are actually doing things that are important for the Americans.
Okay, so I'm not seeing anything about mass firings. There were resignations
Okay.
and reassignments, but I would need to see factual information for that claim.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
He
Hold
also,
on.
I know that the administration has offered severance packages for anyone who doesn't want to essentially abide by the Trump administration and what they're pushing to do. And so if they're out to kind of sabotage and not work with them, they're going to work against them. I think it's generous to say, here's an out and we'll offer you some benefits.
Well, that's running things like the mob, don't you think? That's what the mafia does. If you're not loyal to me, you get the hell out of here.
The
That's
mafia
not.
analyze. Hold on, are you literally comparing the generous offer of severance packages to the mafia?
Yeah, if you don't agree with me, if you don't do things my way, if you're not loyal to me, you're gonna get like.
It's saying if you don't want to, if you're not going to serve the administration and do your job appropriately and competently, then you should step aside. Why is that?
I
bad?
mean, we're saying kind of the same thing, but using different language. The way I'm saying it, because I'm not a Trump fan, I'm saying that he's demanding loyalty like a mafia boss, and that's the way he's always
So
acted.
if someone is unhappy with a new boss and they're not going to do their job effectively, would you want to keep them around?
Well, not happy with the boss is different than not doing your job effectively. And if you work in a corporate workplace, there's people you don't like. There's people that don't like you, but you work with them anyway. If you're a
So what he's saying is, if you don't think you'll be able to work with my administration, here's an out. I don't understand what's wrong with that. He's not forcing them out. He's saying, here's an out. Also, do you have a source yet for the hundreds of people that Trump fired?
hold on, guts. Here it is. AP. Trump fires head of TSA, Coast Guard, and Guts Key Aviation Safety Advisory Committee.
So not hundreds of employees.
Hold on.
And then somehow draws the distinction to that accident. That's wild.
It was a lot of employees. Let me look this up. I mean, this is kind of slowing down the conversation because
Yeah, but the conversation needs to slow down a little bit because if there's claims that are coming out that are baseless, we need to figure out if it has a
okay.
basis.
So when I find it, you'll agree that that's really a bad thing and is probably one of the reasons for this this disaster, right?
If it's proven to be correct, yeah. Not when you find it. When it's proven to be correct, yeah.
After the investigation, yeah.
After the investigation, so you're not going to believe it, even if it did happen.
Why would that's an assumption? No matter how you slice it, you have to wait till the investigation is over.
Okay, so I mean, let's wait till the investigation. Then I mean, there's no reason for us to even continue because your next thing is going to say, well, we have to investigate it.
Well, we're still waiting, which is ironic that we're still waiting at this time for you to find this thing that you really was able to quote off the top of your head.
It doesn't matter though to you.
Hold on, I just want to say real quick, Mark, you came up here, you made the claim that Trump fired someone that he didn't in fact fire, they resigned. And then you made the claim that Trump fired hundreds of people.
Fire the TSA administrator though.
You made the claim that he fired hundreds of people. So I'm gonna drop you down because you're making a lot of claims that you have no evidence for.
I mean, and then he blamed DEI, which was the worst part.
Proven to be incorrect. So
You blamed DEI, which was the worst part.
yeah, I'll look up that quote, and if he said that, I disagree. I think that's jumping to conclusions. I don't think we should be casting blame when we don't have all the facts. I wouldn't agree with him making that statement.
Yeah, and I think he's going to continue to do that because it's easy to dupe white people into hating, gays and blacks and immigrants instead of taking responsibility for the poor decisions you've made.
That's a stretch.
Well, I think that's why he did it. Why else would he blame DEI? Because it's an easy go-to.
Well, I think there's concerns about he faced incompetence directly when we talk about the assassination attempt with the Secret Service. Would you agree?
I don't know if that was due to incompetence.
Are you
The
okay?
the former director said that they didn't put people on the
No,
roof
not
because it was
incompetence of like a DEI hire. I mean, it was probably a white male incompetence,
that
and
was
that's
a white female, but okay.
we're never talking about white male incompetence when we
Mark,
say DEI.
you're deflecting from the question. Do you agree that we saw? No, we don't have an article that says he fired hundreds of TAA people. So you agree that there was vast incompetence when we look at the assassination attempt, correct?
Yeah, there was incompetence there. I can say, yeah.
Okay, so
But
he probably has.
definitely don't. We definitely can't say it was DEI though.
Assigning a 5'6" woman to guard a 6'5" man.
Why blame
that
one
might-
woman for what should have been
because
like?
it
He did
because
not
it takes that
prepare
one
for that
it
situation.
takes that one opening to off him.
Wait, but what she had nothing to do with the vulnerability that Trump faced that day. It was
Well, no, but she had
women
everything to
wasn't
do with the
secure.
vulnerability because
There
she
was a
provides the
whole team.
bodyguard of his body.
I
How
mean,
can she do
see,
that when
this
she's
is what
half
I
his
mean.
size?
This is what I mean. Just because she's not a white male, you're blaming her, and that's
If
ridiculous.
she was 6'5", I
Why are
wouldn't be
you blaming
talking.
her for what all the other
You were
things that
blaming
should
her
have
height.
happened?
It has nothing to do with her biological sex.
Yeah.
If she
But
were 6'5", I wouldn't care.
why are you pointing to that as first number one?
Because somebody, the supervisors, selected her on his detail, and then the
Well, okay.
director of that same agency said they couldn't put people on that sloped roof for
What
safety
you're
reasons.
not addressing, what you're not addressing is you don't know what other skills she has and what her
I don't think
what
I
her
don't think Mark's
role
going to be
was.
genuine in any type of
I'm
engagement.
being absolutely genuine.
Yeah.
How are you going to blame her for the perimeter not being secured? It's really simple.
Do you think there's
Just 'cause
anything
she
that
has-
can be
just 'cause
seen
she
that?
has a vagina?
Hold on, Mark. Do you think there's anything problematic about DEI?
DEI is awesome. It for managers, and I will always use DEI because it tells you not to use your biases when looking at a population of qualified folks. You want to bring in lots of different perspectives.
Do you think an outcome of that could be it prioritizes identity over merit?
No, not if you're doing DEI correctly and you really understand it.
But there's
Okay.
the thing, Mark. Is how do you know that DEI is being done correctly?
Because when you implement a DEI program, you address all these issues that people kind of talk about. They say, "Oh, it's quotas. Oh, you're hiring unqualified people. Oh, this and that." When you go through a DEI training, you understand what you're really looking for, and it's really about you as a person who's hiring other people. It's
Right,
not
and
about
it
the other.
encourages
It's not about the
diversity hiring, correct?
Huh?
It encourages diversity hiring, correct?
It encourages you to look for talent from wherever it comes. It's more meritocratic, right? You're looking at merit even more than you would if you're just like a guy hiring because I want to hire another white guy.
So is
He's
merit-
like me. I'm
do
going
you
to hire
agree-
him.
Do you agree merit should be the top priority?
That's what was going on before, like DEI, and we got better hiring
You're
practices.
talking to yourself at this point. You're
No,
not
I'm just
allowing
saying.
perfection, and then you keep talking over me. It's rude.
Okay. What was your question?
Do you
'Cause
agree
you-
that merit should be the top priority?
Do I believe what?
Merit should be the top priority. Like hiring people based on
Absolutely. And when we had segregation and white only, merit was not the top priority. A lot of qualified African Americans
So
and
if
Latinos
we're prioritizing by merit,
excluded.
I would
Were
argue
excluded,
that
okay?
DEI is unnecessary.
DEI is absolutely necessary to recognize biases when you're not being meritocratic.
Okay, do we have what
Absolutely.
legal ramifications are there for not abiding by DEI?
the ramifications is we get like hiring practices like what Trump has in his top management team, which are white only and lead to bankruptcies and bad businesses
Hold on.
and fraudulent practices.
Hold on. So DEI and Tulsi Gabbard, is she a white male? Is Pam Bondi a white male?
Is Kash Patel a white male?
I'm talking about in his private businesses how he's
Isn't his chief of staff the first female?
He employs more women than he does
for
men.
the most part, he hires white only.
He hires women mainly.
I just keep
white
Patel and
only,
Tulsi
though.
Gabbard are not white.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely, they are.
Tulsi Gabbard is white? What?
You just said Kash Patel is white.
You said Kash Patel is white? What?
Well, Indians are considered Caucasian. They consider themselves to
Have
be.
you even seen a photo of this man? Holy hell,
Do
man.
you understand like the racial categories? Like Indians.
Do you understand the part of Do you understand the part of India he came from? Do you even understand the part of India where he came from? He is dark as dark can be. He was discriminated against. His family was marginalized by his own people. Like that's how dark.
Yeah, I
he was.
mean,
like
it's kind of beside the point. For the most part, Trump hires white only.
Rubio is Rubio white?
Yes, absolutely.
Holy hell, man! You see nothing. You see it all through white-colored glasses, I guess.
You've been considered the. You have to look at
What
how.
about Scott Bessent? Is Scott Bessent gay?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, interesting. He is.
Wow.
He's going to be the new.
Is he a white male?
He's going to be the new director of the Treasury.
Oh, okay. He's a white male, though, right?
Oh, so now sexuality doesn't matter.
Is gay not part of DEI?
No, not all. Especially when it's a white male.
Okay. I honestly, Mark, you just made yourself so silly. I'll let you end on that note.
Oh, is Mark white? I mean, he sounds like a very self-hating individual.
I wanted to get through this line of questioning because I'm trying to work on my line of questioning, but I was like, okay, well, if there's no legal ramifications or legal enforcement of DEI, how would it have prevented Trump from having his cabinet picks anyways?
Right. Exactly.
Which they are not all white.
Yeah, the cognitive dissonance that exists on their side is wild. I mean, we really are living in two different realities. It's kind of scary, and that's what scares me is the fact that there's a large segment of our populace that just literally ignores that the sun is warm and the sky is blue. Like it doesn't.
He brought up specifically gay within his first DEI, touting or advocating for DEI, and then I mentioned a gay cabinet member, and he's like, "Oh, that doesn't count."
Yeah, it doesn't count now.
They have to be POC and gay.
Yeah, and they have to have a D next to their name too. Let's not forget that part.
And then we talked about females, and we brought up Tulsi, and then he's like, "Oh, she's white, and so she doesn't count either."
Right.
What? Okay. That was funny. That might be the note that here's the hard part. I genuinely I don't know how people do 4 or 5 hour lives.
Oh yeah. Well, are you 4 or 5? Talk about 24 hours. We got people on here that literally have insomnia, so they'll just run lives for a 24-hour period.
I think I could do it if it wasn't if I engaged a little less. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you have a full panel and there's friendlies who talk for a while, maybe that's the problem. Thank you, Kyle.
Is that something you're looking to do?
No.
Yeah. No, I think your segments of 1 to 3 hours is pretty on par with what attracts people. It's very akin to radio talk show hosts. I think you're good with that.
I am going to work on getting my stuff set up for 20 to 30 minute little YouTube episodes, which if you guys give me a follow, I will be live again this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, probably mid-afternoon, or it'd be late afternoon for East Coasters. And then you can find the YouTube link in my bio. I will upload the live from yesterday, which should have downloaded while I was on this live, to YouTube, and then I'll upload this one tomorrow to YouTube. So that link is also in my bio. If you guys want to subscribe to that, you'll be notified when I upload those if you guys missed any part of it. But yeah, I want to continue to do I'll upload my lives there, but then do 20 to 30 minute little episodes on stuff that I've researched.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. I mean, that's kind of what other people do too.
I've got a video coming up talking about malicious compliance, which I like that new
Malicious
word.
compliance. What is
Yeah.
that?
So what that means is, let's say I'm doing hypotheticals. Let's say the Trump administration put out a memo from the OMB, right?
Oh, you're at 200K likes likes, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, everyone. I think that's the most likes I've had. So I appreciate that. So you have an OMB memo, right? And it specifically notes in the footnote, it's not to affect independent assistance payments, okay? Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. And then all of a sudden, there's an issue with the Medicaid website. But maybe that individual thought that they had to mess with the website to comply with that memo. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying?
No, actually. Can you explain that one more time?
So if you think about it, like, let's say someone can play dumb and be like, oh, but I'm complying with this order with the intent of making this order look horrifically bad.
Oh, you mean malicious compliance from like a disruptive standpoint, like from a non-directive. Okay. Yeah, which is very true. It's the next, I mean, so before it was get the people out that are not aligned because otherwise they'll just slow walk everything and try and drag this out for 4 years. And then there's the next step, which is what you're talking about.
And we can look at the vast bias within government departments, federal government departments. We know they're full of people who either contribute or vote for Democrats.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're gonna conduct all sorts of. I mean, like the level that the left is willing to go to never ceases to amaze me. And then they feign like some sort of virtuous position the moment we call them out on it, or they ignore it altogether. Like it just. And then they somehow stand there and say we're for the Constitution. I'm like, literally everything you're doing is against the Constitution. It's wild.
It's crazy. So I'm going to do a video on it because I also want to highlight some of the statements from. So if you guys ever want like a giggle, because I'm going to start putting this individual on blast.
Somebody keeps saying an aircraft struck a mall in Philadelphia. A small engine aircraft.
Unfortunately, those accidents happen more often than they should.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything either.
Okay, so Wyden. I think he's a senator. Senator Wyden from Oregon.
What about him?
Go look at his ex posts. That's all I have to say.
Really?
Oh God. Oh God. I'm gonna start doing videos just off his ex because it's that
Holy
good.
hell.
That good. You'll have to text me and tell me what you think after you look at him.
I will. One of the things I'm just going to start emailing every single senator and congressman I have. I honestly have no clue how to get a hold of like Tulsi or Cash and like slide them my resume or anything. I have no clue. If you have any insight, that would be amazing. But yeah,
have you reached out to Mike?
We haven't talked recently. He seems to be extremely busy. And so, no, I haven't. I have a friend of mine who literally just got accepted as the assistant deputy to the VA for congressional affairs. And so I've reached out to him to be like, hey, dude, how'd you do that? Like,
I think that's huge. Okay, so small plane crashes in Northeast Philadelphia. Multiple casualties. It happened near Cottman Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard. Hit several buildings and cars in the area. It's too bad. Yeah, you should reach. I mean, I'm looking at doing like a baby step, like maybe seeing if I can intern for my Colorado State rep here.
You need a leap. You need to take big leaps. Stop slow walking this.
I don't like to try to. Oh, there's Mike. Ha! Hi, Mike.
Oh, hey, Mike.
He just said he sent a recommendation.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so in my district, what I would want to do, because the House, I like my state rep, so I don't want to unseat him, okay? State Senate would be 4 more years out, because they just had an election 2 years ago. I would like Congress, but my district just flipped Republican.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess my thing is like the more you talk, the more sounds like, okay, so we'll see logic in Congress in a decade. I mean, it's you need to get involved a little faster.
There's a lot of things that go into running for office. Main being funds.
True. true. That's the reason why most senators and congressmen already start out as some level of millionaire of some type. Yeah, but they end up all still doing the same thing, get beholden to their donors. I mean, you definitely. I just think you are in a unique position to harness donors that would believe in you versus their priorities, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the politics, right?
Right, that is politics, which is why you need to jump in the deep end. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, the other option is
There,
crowdfund, but you know how that, I mean, that's
other options, what?
crowdfund.
True, but at least go to the meetings. I still get emails from Colorado's GOP, and they're trying to harvest candidates like right now. They're doing the same thing here in Pennsylvania. I just think
Can you
if
forward
you're
me
not
the
already,
emails you get? Because I tried to get in touch with people at the county I'm in GOP, and I got nowhere. So can you forward me some of those?
oh yeah, I'll forward you their contact info, and you
Mike,
can.
hit me
And
up.
yeah,
I would run for office if I saw a path. I just don't I don't know. I look at some of the
well,
people in office though, and I'm like, oh God, I could do better than they're doing.
exactly. No, that's my point. I think that's Mike's point too, right? And I'm not that I speak for people, but I'm fairly certain Mike would agree that you would run circles around these people. If you
I
want,
can't even that would be such a dream. Mike, I will absolutely text you later. That would be such a dream. Oh my God.
that
That's
would be awesome. And I would support too. So no matter where I end up, you can always count on me. That's so.
Bobert's in my neighboring district. How funny is that? You'd have two long-haired brunettes.
There you go. One sane and one not so much. But
One that's just a little. She's just a little too much for me.
she's a little bit of a firebrand, a little bit.
Too much for me.
But look at that, you get support from Canada. I don't know if that's legal, but that'd be great.
With what?
You got some support from Canada in the comments. I don't know if that'd be legal, but it'd be great.
Thanks, eh? I'm so sorry. I can't run up there and save you guys. Okay. Because I don't know. This sounds terrible. I don't have an appetite for getting into Colorado politics. I don't.
Yeah, you prefer national level then, right? Is that accurate?
And Colorado is a utter dumpster fire. Go look up the bill they're trying to pass about limiting magazines now.
Really?
It's so unconstitutional. I can't even see straight.
Holy hell.
I know. I have to. I should do a video on it. I'll write that down. But yeah, I'm gonna.
I thought you didn't care about.
Huh? What was that?
I thought you didn't care about Colorado politics.
Well, I just don't want to. I mean, you know Colorado. It's pretty bad.
It's sad that it's been lost, basically, because it was. I loved Colorado, but had to leave.
Again, I outlined, guys. I'm not gonna move because I don't want to move. I love our place. It's like our dream place, and we have kids. Michael.
Yeah.
You know what I should do? You know who I should unseat? Bennett.
Fuck yes, you should. I hate that man.
I don't think you can go straight to Senate, so I don't think that's I have no law degree. I have no credentials for that.
He had no damn credentials. That son of a bitch. I hate he's another example.
He was in the DPS school system.
He's an example of another person that did very little but knew the right people and shook the right hands and kissed the right butts and got a Senate seat.
I don't want to kiss any butts.
That's what I'm saying though. You have that unique personality to be like, you need to to get them to be like, I like her, I'm going to fund her.
God,
I think that's what Mike's saying. I think
if I could unseat Bennett,
that'd be amazing.
I cannot stand him.
I'd move back to Colorado and vote for you.
Yeah, be like, oh, we have a new roommate. Just kidding. I added 15 roommates. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody look at that.
Get some leases. We'll see. I'll talk to Mike and.
Yep. Talk to Mike.
Can you imagine? Oh my God, it would make me cry. That would be dope. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna look up these emails, and I know I still have them. They're recent too. I get so many though, but I'll find one and send it to you.
Oh yeah, I don't want to run for governor of Colorado. Oh, did you hear who's running on the left?
No.
Our AG.
Oh God, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Need to fix Colorado.
But yeah, send me, if you can, forward me a GOP email. Do you have my email address?
Just text it to me. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everyone for being here. Thanks for winding down after the conversation. 217,000 likes. You guys are amazing. I will go live probably, Josie, I'm not moving to New York. No. If I'm going to move, it's going to be like Montana. Like, that's where I will go. Or I could run for something in Wyoming. But
There you go.
I don't think they like Coloradans very much, so I'm not sure. I don't know how that
You
works.
can make them like you. It wouldn't take long.
I don't know. Wyoming, there's some people who have, and I don't blame them for disliking Coloradans.
Yeah. Well, they accepted Cheney, so I mean.
Well, they also
Booted. Yeah.
Pretty
Once they
quick.
realized their mistake, sure, but yeah.
run for what? Most uninformed. Yuck, 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 yuck. You're funny, Nicholas. Good one. Okay. Well, thanks, Intel. I hope you have a great weekend, guys. I will be live probably again tomorrow. So give me a follow. Appreciate y'all. All right. See ya.
Awesome.
Mike,
Thanks.
we'll talk.
Bye.
Bye.